Hello ladies and gentlemen, friends of Mankan. Welcome to this special documentary dedicated to the 10th anniversary celebrations of the Mankan Cultural Development Association, Minnesota. My name is Nelly Claire Tumanjan, and I'm here with my brother. Tange, Yinshina.
Me, I want more Tumanjan. Kungeni Tange Elijah, Te Minyawabir, Manimum Fu Terend Ilang, Boom Fu. Emilia Pen, Alama tour. I want to tell woman co. But Tilambu, Minnesota. Bugumanco Mamba Betino. The donor with Yantum working in the loom tea, no room to tongue. Papi beating and go to Manco, a Minnesota, America. Go Tezane, being a letter and boom bay. KB no wumco. Last singer winner, Bubungamazama, Mankum Bungamazam Zumbu, and a Zamba Betino. Mzumbu zambu mbomzuga mzumbu zambu mbom mankunga bo nyongo mankunga anye bunga anye zamba bugu tune bon anye ne gamna la na mba bugu gamna ye anye mbomzuga bugu songla langa bugu kwiye ga bugu di mbom binsum ga bugu kwiye songa zamba aninda muzugla bugu ne lomti no wuma abugu tong binsum ga biye ngengem dorku Numankomba Babitini Gamburkinga, Makuda, Minnesota, and the Nangabur, Wamba Tree, Namazama. Aslabin and Mortimazo. Abela, me, I thank you.
It was in 2002 in Columbia Heights, Minnesota, that the journey began when a group of young and visionary Mankan people in Minnesota put their thoughtful minds together to create what we know today as the Mankan Cultural Development Association, better known by its acronym Makuda, Minnesota. These pioneer members of the association remained faithful and dedicated to the cause of the association with a common goal in mind: promoting and upholding the Mankan culture and sponsoring projects back in Mankan. The group immediately set its vision and mission, amongst which was the drafting and adoption of the Constitution and the election of its first executive, led by Mr. N.S. So, and Mange Mesinte as its president and vice president respectively.
This idea started in 2002 after my brief visit in Washington DC / Maryland. After visiting Makuda branch in Maryland and consulting with the president, Mr. Brutus Monica, I had a thorough conversation with him about Makuda, Minnesota, and how I could rally my brothers and sisters in Minnesota and come up with a group called Makuda, Minnesota. We were just about 10-12 of us by then who say determined and committed to move on with this association. The main goal of forming this association was, one, to rally especially the Mankan community here in Minnesota. Two, to see how we could, as a family, help ourselves here in Minnesota. First, know ourselves, not only in times of crisis, but also in times of happiness.
Tandem Juamba Bria and Bomala Agane, and then Jingo to Mankuma. Jingo to Makuda, Chala to Sanga, Buka for Ninda and Da. Mageti Yinger, Ayen and Koje, Mumbanga Ting and Dangote, Abara Deye. Bria the Bone, Bukundangote, Bugaminate and a Woosa, and Counting Nu, Futin Tamba Funam Mankuma, and can Counting Tamba Chinagu, Abugui, Alatom of Bambukini. Bugatiga Nala, Mbomala Bugati and Bobon, Dear Tambabagam Nagamala, Mbung Coma, Mbunga Samba, Mbung Paraluma, Counting Ndoro Buguto Shudori Yamunke. Oh, as I'm Batina, and Gubitab, Nabina, Amfu, for Mungitangor, Ngambo Bangiz, Ngambo and Dumaga, Ngambo and Dufra, Jane Vitambo for Wafoy, Manco, Wamakuda, Minnesota Queen. Mugilanzenu into Bungasonga, the Zazanga.
I will talk about the 10th anniversary. And then our 10th anniversary project we'll talk about the new uniform them, and then Makuda, Cameroon. Then we'll get the health refreshment. Beginning with registration. I mean, as usual, we'll remind everybody, say deadline for registration on May 31st. Registration for Makuda, Minnesota, $90. Registration Makuda, America, $100.
That one's in the meeting.
Yes, unless otherwise, I don't know if anyone pay through. Makuda, America, the same people never pay over the years. Now only them around this time of the year they still never pay. It's telling a plan R. I don't know why people don't enlist themselves to policy when no one pay. The one that they chase them around 40, 30-year-old people, they will not be appropriate. So, financial sector will go ahead. Financial sector will go ahead. Read
This come together is usually filled with deliberations by members, yearly membership contributions, matters arising, dancing, eating of achu and other traditional dishes prepared by the host or hostess. Past and present executives have worked tirelessly to quicken the pace of progress of the association, set since from its conception. In this light, they have engaged in membership drives and emboldened the association's efforts to create and maintain partnerships with people in Mankon for the smooth execution of home-based projects and the organization of annual gift exchange ceremony among members. During this time, the children take part in a 2-hour class where they are taught the Mankon alphabets, numbers, riddles, and songs. This project that began in 2009 and uniquely taught in Mankon was initiated by Dr. Azataba, who up to date has personally taught these kids and walked them through the success of speaking the Mankon dialect.
So, does anybody know where Mankon is located? I'm telling you, me and you have to know Mankon is located in Bamenda. Does anybody know what province Bamenda is in? Big boys. Does anybody know what province Bamenda is in? Northwest province.
Dr. Azataba tells us her motivation behind this idea.
Otila betong na woni ni mibo bombe Makuda Minnesota makomba betina Minnesota. Ochifu teza mba bitani mo te tong na woni kumwe.
Tala akyen tong to bugugu at 2007. Ntige nga banza tereza wiza terembumi. Nga fa mbumi sombumi nge manu nimiba wobazinge. Guma wema wate shina. Ndi wana mbomala. So makankwara banza nkwara faza mbemtinge ana faza mba machine fa.
Miyawo faza no o fa ne bombe ne o chanta wala ne nkandi ela akembo boye.
Biyen bugu kuma mungo tela malogo wozen. Mwamba bugu konandazu agadi embo bugu gantiwu. Mboni nya moto ngamna la ngie mboma la madi na wate mboma la kundi wate ngamna la
o die wala no wala na mboma wate nka
anuza wa mboma wala bonna bitu zega di ise bitu embite ganga mommy o yene ka mommy o tsanambi
oi anete anuza shina mazunga manko makinche ngweke ngumatiwa manko mabitina Minnesota bulana nkuyela tenke bombe mbamba ko kaptina wala bukundu nse
bojinga buga Minnesota buga fa ngengwa nila atwa fa aziguza mo be te bo buke buga mbang nulunga numu
nkeno
so buga cha Minnesota la atwa fa aziguza mo abibo so bugu tinu bugu being kabazga so bugu tinu bon so women mentari titong no wene o watenge be bobo bene bugi bugam kwela bichina ni gam la bobo tata mo la de gam abi kishinga ni bomba mabelo na be biange wa mami ni to bitawaye machi magaga chibani na gamne ma obitnaga mamun yeto bitowai
mama bi ne wo ye o chi fu tembo manko mo ngamba obi ni were
ina ko ma ketefu
ne mo o chi fu tembo manko mo ngamba obi ni were
ko ngene guma bodo
bo me la zen zamba ni ene la ne kong
ina
o kong bo me la zen na ngum
ina
o chi fu tembo manko nu small zamba o ye ene ba nyoma nju zamba bi twa ne ngote
atiketa
o ya atiketa nse o chifu tembo manko wazima ba ye ena enye njuza ba bchwana ngota sanjala mameso ngombo bonge ane sanjala ambo manko nzuo zamba ni ye ena zamba sanjala
kwa debe to ta tong ni nkene kwa atumati bengo nki
ni gwa tenge juteti uzamba ni mo kombo yenju la ne kege tie won ju ngamu manko o kan gwa ta zama wana ngum magami ya wotenge.
Building the Makuda, Minnesota brand image was one of the goals of the group, with particular emphasis on the creation of a traditional dance troupe that was reflective of the cultural wealth, dynamism, and hospitality of the Mankan people. Tange, Makuda, Minnesota has made the Asamba dance very popular, not only in Minnesota, but in the entire United States, right?
That's true. Singa wene Asamba lambie, Asamba Makuda, Minnesota alamdi itime, bugu zobadi ila mbintsum, nda komtsum, eti mbantinti endinga wusunga o bebo gulane mbete eto manko ne ze Samba Minnesota.
Is a land blessed with a rich and ancient culture. This is more so when we consider the sheer variety of folkloric dance genres that can be found in Mankan. Asamba, Mbagalum, Mukomunzang, that is a masquerade dance, Makonge, and Jam. These were a few of the dance possibilities that came under consideration. Many members had an inclination towards Mbagalum, understandably. But the argument that carried the day was that the Mankan community in the United States should reflect the cultural wealth of the Mankan fandom itself. In this vein, since the Mankan family in Washington, D.C. already had Bagalum and Mukomunta, Makuda, Minnesota should have something else. That was how Asamba carried the day. Nevertheless, the decision to adopt Asamba as the image-defining symbol of Makuda, Minnesota was merely the start of the challenges that confronted the association on its way to making Asamba the household name in Minnesota. Once Asamba was chosen, the entire association rallied together to find ways of making it a reality. It took many years and 3 executives of Makuda, Minnesota to make the dream come true. But the real challenge still lay ahead. How to get the instruments and everything else that was necessary for the dance to take off. The Makuda president at the time, Jonathan Teneawa, and his executive immediately started work with craftsmen and drum makers in Mankan, where not long after the right instruments were identified, paid for, and shipped to Minnesota. The journey from Mankan to Minnesota was tough as the exotic instruments went through all kinds of official scrutiny. But much was the relief and joy in the breasts of Makuda, Minnesota members with the arrival of these instruments to the Twin Cities. Certain Mankan rituals were performed before the instruments could be played as the custom warrant. For that reason, 2 of our elders, Mama Rofina Azar and Tange Alex Tabukum, poured a libation on and around the instruments and anointed them with palm oil while invoking the gods of Mankan to use the instruments as a medium to transmit love, unity and strength within Makuda, Minnesota. The amateurish dance moves and non-musical body twists by members in anticipation of the melody that was going to emanate from the instruments did not hinder them from learning, as it was no secret that much work still had to be done to make Asamba live up to the expectations of the association. Nevertheless, Asamba succeeded in making his first public outing, albeit in a timid manner, in 2009 at the Makuda National Convention in Dallas, Texas. With the past executives contributing in bringing the Asamba dance to fruition, it should be noted without hesitation that the 5th executive of Makuda, Minnesota, led by Mr. Valerindo Atanga, professionalized the Asamba dance with the purchase of its costume, conception of the design, and also securing a permanent practice venue for scheduled practice sessions on the last Sunday of every month. Thanks to these worthy measures, Asamba was transformed from an amateurish group to the symmetric and eye-popping performance that is attributed to it today. As the sculpting of the Asamba edifice came of age, its numerous public performances on invitation and national conventions became noticeable. Its impeccable dance moves were not only to die for, but its ever-increasing membership with a conspicuous presence of
to move ahead and see if we could get a 501c status. I know the process has been a little bit slow, but again, our matron's in one, and he solid. They promised us we're going to have a feedback in March. Until you don't come late, you there for they would. See if we get a 501c status. Next, they will promise we March, and we'd already get a response. So I received a response, well, first of all a phone call, then a response, a letter from the IRS. And as of May 31st, 2012, Makuda, Minnesota is a 501c3. So coming in 2010, I basically was supposed to move on from the foundation that was laid by our founders or the previous administration. So ever since then, it's been from one set goal to the other. But like it's often said, success breeds a new goal. So ever since then, we've been focusing more on changing the socio-economic status of our folks and brothers and sisters in Mancon. Since 2002, ever since Makuda, Minnesota came into being, we've been fortunate. We have a collective and energetic group. We began in 2002 with nothing, and today we have a working document. In addition to that, our founders started the One Student, One Bench project. Through that project, we've been supplying quality seats to underprivileged kids in Mancon. So far, I think about 8 schools have benefited from that project. In 2011, that project entered its second phase, and about 80 seats were supplied. This year, we're getting into the third phase, and thanks to our grant from Target Corporation, we are still going to be supplying more seats to schools in Mancon. In addition to that, today we're a 501c3 association. It gives us the opportunity to go out there and solicit for more funds. Again, we equally launched our Crayon for All project. That project was aimed at getting school materials and helping underprivileged kids in Mancon. We did just that, and over 3,000 pens and writing materials were sent to schools in Mancon. we have a soundbite which has been an image of the association, and for the first time the association received a grant from Target Corporation.
Makuda, Minnesota is a prestigious group, and I will advise everyone and every one of us seated here or out there to join this association. The doors are all open. You're all welcome to join Makuda, Minnesota, so we can grow and be one big family.
Some primary schools in
Makuda, Minnesota's charitable initiatives in the areas of culture, education and health has benefited the local communities in the United States, Mancon and Cameroon. To further build on the great successes they have achieved so far as a cohesive group, they continue to contribute to the preservation and promotion of the Mancon culture. But how else could they have celebrated this milestone other than seeking advice from their elders?
Alex Tabukum, Jenopuna, Intualam, Amumakum.
Oh, Chinking a lot of way. Ochinda and Jingle, Zamba, and Momankum will get to will be at Zamba at the Lawton.
Makanya, and what the proving my years is ending Mumakari, but will make it Mumakara. But the ending come up to Turban in the Bomala and gay. I do the door of being to me, Bucky. Ma quel tonga la tene mi giù bombe ngi pieka atuma ba ma yeren zene ngin bomba la alan bene dor na wi even dizem fusa ba bende sombo sumba mo ba abtina la ngi kama wata nga bicha la karanga ma ku ngi si ga nante ngin bomba ba bitina za la e ga nagi bilana kritinga ngi be wata ku ona da ba ba ngi nan jo or you be man cutting the gun what you can land be fem included to the Mataraga Aganagi. Berlana girl and Zinga Abo, the quaractic to Babatuma. Tang Chantan up on 10 even in Chitsatanama, Buginala, Buki Winger, Taratuma Deving, be more to be it's higher. So very Antembo water and Dinga, Bome Chanty, it's at a Batava, the gunner, and come to Bumbo Batara, Butumanga. Baby see na a water and I'm about baby to take it away about Chanton again. Mobolan seen the door of the Empire, a Chantamada, Tang Chante, Abataraba seen into Abaku, Wattinger, Boba Yella, Caralam, Robin Bomber, Macaraka, the Monco. Mawattinger, David Tarba, Latin Bama, Sina Lasse, I know Mba bomb ko Minnesota when I begin I'm going to be a Minnesota and working car down Minnesota be a Mabagana mango and didn't allow. I tipped them about my chin sombo woman corn, mangy, and bangna, a banger, and a jinger, and tilabie, and a jinger, both can see on a beam and jake and bangers or be more at home. Bring the food away, or Lord Tom Sambo, and Lamatina La.
Njinda Monza Kune, Makuda, Minnesota, a tongue with Tabunka by in Tom Binson, the Bien 20 Y. A Bizamba Mufonia 20 Zene, Rumbertsara, Anjua, the Bufunda Zamba, Bombitsum Bumia water in a woo, a tongue and one, a tongue monk quee. The Gamma Witty number Makuda, Minnesota, alone Sarambum Binson Snake. The Gamna Sunga, be booking a bimna singer, boom booking a low queer zone ye. The queen a zone and a bimna singer ye. Makuda, Minnesota, and it's in down on the Shina. The Mortimanzo.
10 years of culture, beauty, love, unity, joy, and solidarity have been the motivating force behind this vibrant cultural group. Other than with a cultural event and fundraising gala, the group is commemorating its 10th anniversary celebration with the launching of the biggest project ever by any Makuda chapter in the world, the construction of a modern library in Mancon, which indeed can only be done together for a better tomorrow, as the anniversary theme states. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for watching. Thank you, Tanguy.
Yeah, kind of more.
Hola. Happy birthday, Makuda, Minnesota. Let the celebration begin.
Nda muganim bie.